Thanks, everybody. My name's Kelcey, company's 365 Holdings, and I've got an iced coffee that I drink half of, and 20 minutes of content, and 15 minutes to deliver it in, so I'm gonna try to go quick. These are the lessons we've learned from bootstrapping what we're calling an e-commerce holding company. Oh, there's no transitions. Fun. All right. We started in 2017, kind of before the e-com aggregator thing was popular, and we've been acquiring and operating e-commerce businesses for quite some time. I have a business partner. You'll see him on the next slide. The two of us probably started with some loans from our parents for a couple $1,000s, and we've never really raised any equity. Our entire balance sheet is retained earnings from profitable operations. We've got a team of over 100 folks today. We're going to do 60 million in revenue this year. We did 47 last year. And we really started as this vertically integrated, very tight conglomerate, an aggregator, if you will. And we've decided over the last year or so to begin unbundling that and really building the business more as a decentralized holding company, a bit more of a classic long-term hold model and less of a verticalized integrated business. And some of these lessons that we've learned over the years kind of inform that decision. Justin is currently in Mexico visiting a supply chain customer or a supply chain vendor. I'm here talking to you guys. So if you want to know what the difference is between a CEO and a COO and a partnership, I get to do the fun stuff. He gets to go to factories. That's the two of us. These are some of the brands that we own. These range from products that are soft goods to hard goods, CPG, food, and even jewelry. So we're really, really diversified as far as the portfolio and things that we own. Over the years, we've sold off a handful of the brands that we've bought. Frankly, we've also even shut some down along the way. We've had a lot of fun and we've learned a lot of lessons, which I'll share with you now. But this ends the speaker credibility part of the presentation and gets to my slide that didn't work, that Emmett warned me wouldn't work. There's supposed to be an overlay transition here about me renaming the talk from Lessons Learned in Bootstrapping a Holdco. And the new name of the talk is 12 Things I Wish I Knew Earlier, because it would have saved me a lot of time and headaches along the way. We decided a long time ago that every business we look at in consumer products, we lump into one of two definitions. It is either a demand creation business or demand capture business. Typically, your demand capture businesses run ads on Amazon and Google. They might be an FBA pure play business. And your demand creation businesses tend to run ads on Facebook, now Meta, maybe YouTube or other channels. And we decided a long time ago that it was largely a fool's errand to try to switch the DNA of that business. It is either a product category and a brand that some founder's seen traction with that really lives well in one of those and probably not the other. And any material effort that we've ever tried over time to make a business's fundamental DNA change from capturing demand to now creating it, we find is largely a very, very difficult thing to do. So when I analyze a business, we're going to lump it into one of those two buckets, and we're going to underwrite it and pursue it as one. And any opportunities to have it do the other is completely upside and probably unlikely. And we're going to underwrite that as all upside if it's even possible when we get down the road with the business. We do view the businesses as businesses. So again, our evolution from an aggregator or conglomerate into a holding company is each brand has to stand on its own. One day we'd like to exit all of them, probably individually. We want them to be as robust, durable, defensible, and valuable as possible. And for us, we've decided that supply chain is the best moat in a consumer products business. Those of you that come from high finance might say that's kind of obvious. But for those of us on the entrepreneurial side of the spectrum, you start off and you go, oh, I just need a differentiated product. I need something new in my formulation. I need to go to a factory and make my product proprietary. So I'm going to go get new ingredients. I'm going to get new features and new benefits. And what we found over time is the closer you can get to manufacturing, the better the business is. We've got 3 businesses where we're completely vertical and we own and operate the factory where our product is made. So we go from raw materials all the way to advertising and shipping directly to the customer. And we have found in terms of operating a business, cash flow management, recruiting and retaining talent, building a team and a culture, for us, we really want a supply chain dominated, operations heavy, manufacturing based consumer products business. We think it's the best business to own. And frankly, one day when I hire Emmett to talk to all of you about buying some of them, it's going to be the best business to exit, we hope. LTV, for years, I beat my head against the wall telling the team how we needed to do more for lifetime value. These are all cohort-based businesses. We need to run better emails. We need to launch new products. We need to do all kinds of stuff to increase the value of these very expensive customers we're acquiring. Like other lessons, we kind of decided over time that that was largely a fool's errand. My opinion today is that LTV in a business is largely, it is what it is. Whatever customer cohort you acquire, whatever product it is, whatever that customer avatar is, those cohorts tend to look the same for a very, very, very long time. I've not seen yet a business in our portfolio or one that we've underwritten where you can materially, through marketing, manipulate LTVs in a meaningful way. What we've decided instead is it's much, much better to focus on the front end of that equation. If you can get your first order contribution margin to be more efficient and more profitable and let LTV be what it is in that product category, let the brand evolve, make great long-term decisions for the health of that brand's relationship with its customers, LTV will be what it is. Focusing on things like price and offer testing, offering your customers bundles, putting upsells in the cart, in checkout, after checkout, talking with your marketing team about the discounting strategy, the marketing calendar, all that effort on the front end to build a more profitable front-end customer acquisition will eventually let the business compound those cohorts. The LTV is going to be what it is. Let's focus our effort on the hard stuff, which is the front end, and acquire customers more profitably in the beginning and let LTV play out. We found for us is a much better strategy. We've tried growing businesses. Some of them we've grown quite successfully. We've bought them small and they've scaled up. Others, frankly, we've struggled with over the years. This might seem obvious to a lot of folks in the room with experience, but it took us a minute to figure it out. You got to have a high average order value, or you got to have a really high gross profit profile on the business. Ideally, you want both. If you're going to be paying for ads to acquire customers, I don't care if it's on Amazon, brick and mortar wholesale, Shopify D2C, ideally, a average order value, $80, $90, $100 plus with really, really strong margins, 70, 80 points or more, is a great way to pay for growth if you plan to significantly grow that business's revenue without injecting lots and lots of additional capital. If you want to self-fund high gross margin dollars, so at least $70, $80 of gross margin on the product is kind of for us a prerequisite to underwrite brand growth. I mentioned we're unbundling this vertically integrated aggregator. We're becoming a holdco, diversified, separate teams, taking apart the parent company. We've decided for us that roll-up synergies in our world, largely a myth. So apologies to the fellow aggregators in the room. They're pursuing that still. I wish you best of luck for it. We couldn't figure out shared services. I think for every time we had an efficiency, every time we made somebody double up some workload or we had somebody share a project, we had an offsetting problem that discounted a different part of the business. For every plus, there was a minus. We've tried things, maybe you've seen this hypothesis of we're going to buy a brand and then we're going to buy a complementary brand. And we're going to cross market. We're going to share the email list. We're going to send promotional messages. We're going to put drop-in cards from brand A in brand B's boxes. We're going to collaborate. I've never seen it work. I've tried it. If you try it, God bless you. I'm just telling you for us, we never got it to work. The one exception for synergies is purchasing. SaaS vendors, I think there's a few of those here, apologies. They're great if you bring them more customers. Postage vendors, supply chain people that are bringing in truckloads of product across the country and LTL freight. All of those cost centers, great places to get synergies. In running the actual businesses, our opinion, not so much. Prices, very, very elastic. We had a few people mention price testing earlier. Big fan, raise your prices. I don't even tell the team to test it anymore. I just say, let's raise everything. Testing can be helpful, but honestly, in small brands, it's a bit tricky. We don't have a data science team. I don't have a team of developers in a lot of our businesses. Most of the off-the-shelf tools can be challenging. The brand team will suddenly complain in customer service that, hey, the customer saw one price last week and they see a new price this week, and they went to a different landing page. And this is some friction. It's all worth doing. Price testing is a total pain in the butt. It's worth doing. What we found is that focusing on contribution margin dollars as the North Star of a price test is actually the most important thing. If you have more margin on the product because you're testing the price up, your media buyers might want to take that margin and give it to Amazon or Google or Facebook for ads. You might end up in the same place, but at different unit volumes. So focusing on contribution margin dollars in a price test as the real North Star, not just the gross profit or the AOV, we found to be really helpful. Again, upsells and bundles are great. And my favorite is back-end shipping costs. If somebody makes it through your checkout flow and you didn't promise them free shipping, whatever it is you're charging right now, add a couple bucks. They're still going to check out. Your conversion rates will be the same. It's free money. Brand founders, they're a real pain in the butt. We love them. They're great. They sell us their businesses, but they're really, really hard to replace. And I beat my head against a wall for a long time trying to figure out how to do it. We found a few tools that were really, really helpful that I think anybody can deploy. And I found that these couple tools will get us 80% of the way there. Myself and Justin, as founders of the firm, we still kind of play that entrepreneurial role. We're still playing brand manager, if you will. We've had some experiences scaling up team members to do that. I think others here in the room might have done that as well, but it's challenging. I found that doing really good market research, really good user testing research of the website, like user interface testing, and then getting really, really well done avatars can replace about 80% of that founder passion, that entrepreneur that built this multi-million-dollar business you're willing to pay a multiple on. We've gotten 80% of the way there. Market share analysis, not hard. We all go buy the tools. I think some of them are sponsoring this event. You can go get data on market share. You should go do that. You should figure out where you fall in the market, where you're competitive and where you're not. We do really, 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 really in-depth surveys. If you have a customer database of 100,000 people, email in 3 different surveys. These can be 20, 30 questions long. We'll get several thousand responses, like completing the survey, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people. That's enough to get a really, really good view of customers. We would produce these really in-depth multi-page reports. The marketing team loves them. Founders, myself and Justin, find that we can really understand the business better. Product development ideas, deep, deep, deep surveys are super worth doing post-close. Then we turn around and turn those into really deep limbic avatars. This is talking about who the person is as a stereotype, what their fears, motivations, uncertainties, and doubts are, what the marketing team needs to know to go write messaging. Take these, throw them into ChatGPT, have it write you some emails, have help with ad copy. Super, super helpful to do. Wrapping up, overhead kills. We see in most acquisitions, again, your mileage may vary. What we've seen, most, beyond having a website that like has a shopping cart to check out on, beyond having an email tool, Klaviyo or something, and beyond like running ads on Facebook, you don't need a whole lot else. We tend to take apart most of the tech stack when we buy a brand. There's usually single digit, sometimes multi-thousand digits a month in overhead on technology that we found just largely doesn't make a difference. Unneeded Shopify apps, custom stuff that was developed 5 years ago that we just go find an off-the-shelf tool to replace it with. Whatever you're spending on SG&A for technology, just go home and tell the team to cut it in half. It'll probably change nothing on your gross margin and your contribution margin, and it'll just be more profitable. When you do need to shop for SaaS, our experience, SaaS vendors are highly negotiable. Take that as you will. People, anything more than 12% as a percentage of revenue is untenable in today's e-commerce environment. 9 to 11 is pretty good, and 8% or less of sales on people expense, that's all in, agencies, contractors, customer service, overseas help, everything that you're gonna put into your people bucket, 8% or less is where we see best in classes in brands. We had a conversation at the lunch hour about meta media buying. My personal opinion on it today is that it's 90% creative and 10% technical media buying. I did it about 5, 6 years ago, and I love the day trading aspect of it. I wanted to pull levers and set budgets and bids and move around ad sets. It largely doesn't matter anymore. Most of the job is on our creative strategist, and she does a great job of making what we call ugly ads. The ad on the left is $1 million ad. One single ad unit created $1 million in revenue. If you zoom in, that's a letterboard we bought on Amazon for $12. Over on the other side there is a sticky note. So if you run ads on Facebook and you've not run sticky note ads, go on Amazon, grab a pack of sticky notes and a Sharpie, mail it to your creative person and say, take a picture of the product with a sticky note on it and just upload it to Ads Manager with whatever copy you want. It will work. Everybody should run sticky note ads. They are like the lowest common denominator for ad success today. Hot take, again, personal opinion. Anything creative growth doesn't work. I've tried it so many times. I've never seen it work. If you have, I would love to hear from you. I've never seen cross-brand promotions work. Very few brands do influencer well. If the brand was built on it, kind of founder DNA, maybe a good exception. But by and large, never seen an affiliate program drive incremental margins. And I've never seen basically any new ad platform work. TikTok came and went for e-commerce. Snapchat came and went for e-commerce. We might finally maybe have a new ad platform in the form of AppLovin. Has anybody seen AppLovin ads yet? If you're running an e-commerce brand, try AppLovin. It's the ads that pop up on mobile games. So most mobile gamers, they get, frankly, junk ads, like in-game ads for upsells, in-game ads for more games. They've never seen a good ad on their game for a product. They've never seen a commerce ad, and now they're finally seeing them. It's 30 seconds, captive audience. They convert really well. Our biggest business, we spent more in Q4 on AppLovin than we spent on Meta, and we didn't see that coming, and it was really, really a big boon to growth in Q4. Couple last thoughts and I'll wrap up, so I'm getting close on time. We found for us, we really do well with a focused, trained, incentivized team. We've played with contractors, we've played with agencies, we've played with lots of different things. We're a long-term owner. We're looking for a durable, high-quality business that we want to sell and monetize one day. We found, our opinion, we'd rather build a giant, really strong, really capable, focused, trained, and incentivized team for the best performance. 2 last thoughts, again, kind of the entrepreneurial side of me. We beat our heads against the wall. Again, bootstrapped, no outside equity, trying to build this business from scratch. We tried a lot of things. And the 2 places that as founders, we never had any good resource for was HR and kind of operating system. So it was very flavor of the month. Justin, my business partner, would say, hey, we're going to do this. Next month, I'd say, hey, we're going to do that. And when we finally settled in on using tried and true, off-the-shelf, best-in-class systems for HR and to operate the company, those 2 buckets, HR and operations, by setting a standard that we were going to use the off-the-shelf tool and not the entrepreneur make-it-up tool, we found that it helped a lot. So a few just quick recommendations. 1, there's a book on hiring called Who. It's the top grading approach. All of our hiring is done by this. Even when we hire overseas talent, say in the Philippines, where the rates are a fraction of what they would be in the US, we're still running the same basic version. It's like 70 or 80% of a Who interview. For hiring an executive in the US, we're running the whole playbook. You can go buy the book on Amazon. We're doing exactly that. But even our international recruiting team is running the Who scoring framework to hire overseas talent. It works really, really well. Likewise, we use an assessment tool called Culture Index. I don't get paid for this one. If you want to meet our rep, I can introduce you. I think it's great. There's lots of testing profiles. It's kind of like a religion or a workout program. Find the one that works for you and stick to it. I love Culture Index. I think it's great. I'll tell you all about it why. I don't have time for it right now, but I highly recommend it. Again, we even use it globally with all of our talent, regardless of where they are. Operating system, very popular book called Traction. The only thing I want to say about this is EOS. Many people have heard about it. My quick comment on it is that if you would have asked me 7 years ago, 8 years ago when we got started, hey, how do you guys run the business? I would have said, oh, like we run on EOS because I bought the business and the founder before me said they did that. So we have these like quarterly meetings and I didn't really read the book and we kind of do like half of it. Now here we are almost a decade later, and I'd say we do like 90 or 95% of EOS by the book, and it's a remarkable difference. Even 2 or 3 years ago, I would say we were 70% by the book. There's a lot of things in that book we cut the corners on. We never hired an outside third party to implement it. And I would just say from our experience inside the team, talking with our employees about how they feel about our use of the system, how we as founders feel about it from a performance perspective, there's a massive gap between people who say they do it or have read the book and those who really, really run it at a super, super high level. So take that with a grain of salt. Anytime you're talking to somebody that uses EOS, I'd ask them how highly implemented they think it is. I could tell you, if you're not at 90% above, there's probably some things you're leaving on the table in terms of execution there. I love talking about this stuff. If you want to find me today or afterwards, please do. Quick side note, we love distressed and turnaround deals. We've done a bunch of like special situations and workouts. If you see something really squirrely and you don't know what to do with it, call me. If I can help you with it, great. If I can look at it, that's great too. And thank you for having me.